What is going on, YouTube? Today I want to do something a little bit different than what I normally do here on my channel, and that is weigh in on a lot of the drama surrounding the YouTube community right now, mainly dealing with things like stealing or freebooting of videos, reaction videos, and above all else, fair use. Now, for those of you out of the loop, I'll catch you up on what I know pretty well about the situation so far, and much of it can be stemmed back, at least as far as I know, to the YouTube channel Grade A Under A. Now, I enjoy these videos a ton. I think he's absolutely hilarious, and I think the points he makes are pretty well reasoned, using pretty much people's own words against them to sort of call out hypocrisy or dishonesty, because you can't really pull anything over on the internet. But there's been a few videos made by Grade A Under A talking about fake prank videos, reaction channels, and this is all sort of stemmed into a bigger discussion involving other people over fair use in general and the freebooting and stealing of videos and the ethical grounds of where that all stands when somebody like a reaction video person is using an entire video to make their own new content when they're not really offering much of a new take on things while just playing somebody else's entire video that they didn't make and somebody else worked hard on. So that's the bulk of what's going on, and again, much can be stemmed back to Grade A Under A, but a lot of other people have weighed in, like H3H3, the battle between he and SoFlo Antonio, Boogie2988 has weighed in on the matter, and even just barely Channel Awesome did a really great video with a nostalgia critic about fair use in general and how that all ties into the bigger picture of this thing. Now, rather than talk more about the whole drama or try to take sides, because honestly I think it's pretty clear who's right and who's wrong in this scenario if you actually understand the laws in play here, I wanted to just talk a little bit more about the importance of this whole thing in general, because what it's really done is started a dialogue about the whole system and how it is a little bit flawed right now. It's a little bit fractured and could definitely use a bit of a revamp, and that is all going on now, especially with the hashtag WTFU, where's the fair use? A lot of people are learning about what this is and what the rights are of content creators to use little bits of other media in the form of critique, in the form of review, or just a transformative work of other entertainment, whether it be parody or whatever you can imagine. That's part of what makes content creation great, is because other people can take something small, a small snippet of something else, and put sort of their own creative spin on it to make it something else entirely. And that basically falls under fair use. Now, the outright stealing of videos does not. And that comes back to the whole right and wrong thing. And I think a lot of people are realizing that this has been going on. I mean, me personally, I didn't know who SoFlo was prior to all this. So I've learned that, yes, this has been going on, and that other people, obviously not myself because I'm a small YouTube channel still, but other people really feel the effects of their content being stolen by other people that are taking it and essentially making money and building their own brand off of this, and that's not okay. And the fact that we've started a discussion to possibly revamp that is very big. Another big thing with all of this is that it's sort of sending a message to people out there who are operating with not the most integrity. I mean, people like SoFlo who are outright stealing videos, someone like Nicole Arbor, who Grade A Under A has pretty much obviously shown is being a little bit two-faced about certain things with domestic abuse and just in general about kind of being a crappy person to people. I mean, you have somebody like Derek Savage and I Hate Everything who tried taking down all these channels talking about his crappy movie and then just handled himself horribly in the fallout from that. I think it sends a message that you can't just be crappy to people on the internet and expect to get away with it. I mean, even to a lesser degree somewhat, because I think they got a little ahead of themselves. But the Fine Brothers, with that whole situation recently, over trying to trademark the word react, essentially. Obviously, it's their brand and it's what they do, but they overstepped their bounds. And the internet stepped up and it was basically like, hey, we're going to hold you accountable here. We're not going to stand for this. And I think to a big degree when it comes to fair use and all of that, that's sort of what stemmed from all of this. And it's another sort of uprising that I think in the end could yield benefits that are overall positive for the entire YouTube community, even though right now things are a little bit chaotic. If you want to learn a little bit more about this whole situation and how it's unfolded, I would recommend going and watching the last handful of videos by Grade A Under A. First, they're hilarious, but also they give a pretty decent background of what's been going on with reaction videos, fake prank channels, and pretty much, to me at least, that's where a lot of this all stemmed from. Boogie2988 also had a very well-rounded, well thought out, and decently non-biased take on this whole situation, because that's what Boogie does. Dude seems like one of the nicest guys ever, and he had a really great take on things. I also learned who H3 Productions was because of Boogie's video, and if you go watch his whole recaps of things, I think they're pretty evident of what's been going on. And then obviously, I think probably the most important one is Channel Awesome with the Where's the Fair Use video that they made. Goes into great detail about fair use and what exactly constitutes that, and what people are capable of within the bounds of fair use, and some other instances of other YouTubers that have been greatly affected by false copyright strikes. So I think it's good to get a sense of what's been going on and how this is all going to affect things moving forward. On the whole, this entire thing doesn't affect me personally a whole lot, because again, I'm a very small YouTube channel. I don't have much of a footprint in the overall landscape of things, but there are bigger YouTubers that could be affected by this that I watch, and there's probably you have your own that you watch, that in the end could benefit from this whole dialogue. And granted, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I made a video once a while back that yes, I did basically show somebody else's entire video, and I don't think it made a dent in them, but you know, if they ever want to come after me for it, that $1.60 that I made off of it, all yours. And I'm willing to do that because I realize, yeah, that wasn't perfect to me. I maybe shouldn't have done that way back then. But again, people will learn from this, people will grow, and hopefully in the end, we can fix what appears to be a somewhat broken system. And if that's what comes from this, that's all positives. Anyway, that's just a couple quick thoughts I had on this whole situation. I'm sure it's probably not done developing as of the time that I made this video, and new things will probably come to light. But like I said, the bigger picture for me is the fact that dialogue is indeed happening, and I hope that good change comes because of it. So, I'll obviously, if you want to comment below, I'll be happy to discuss stuff down there. But that'll probably be the extent that I chime in on this whole matter, at least moving forward, is engaging in the comments. So, there we that. I hope you learned something today, and you know, stand up for what's good out there. And as always, everybody, thanks for watching.